Hi everybody, I'm Shadow Witch and welcome to my circle. Today is not such a magical discussion, but it's a really, really important one. When I started in the witch world, on my witch path, decades ago, I know a lot of people have commented about my interest in social justice, and there's so much happening in our world today. I started decades and decades ago. I remember there was a series of videos I watched, and they contained some of the greatest witches in our generation. At the time, we had Starhawk, Margot Adler, we, of course, Janet Farah. These individuals started not only the feminist movements, the environmental movement, bringing attention to the general world about not only social justice, but, the state of our world we live in. It actually surprises me when I hear people actually dividing themselves when it comes to green alternative energies, about climate change being a hoax, about things that it's just perfect common sense. The scientists aren't lying. The Arctic polar caps, North and South Pole, the ice caps are melting. We have polar bears that are starving to death. We are losing more species every day, complete extinctions of species. We are suffering in the United States the effects of climate change every year, from intense wildfires that are not created by some insane concept of any kind of space lasers. Anyone that would say that is basically a nut. And yeah, let me first say, I am Shadow Witch. Some of you know who I really am, and I am nobody special. I'm a witch. I have my own little witch shop. I am not running for office. I am not a celebrity. I'm not famous. I'm not looking to gain anything. So I have nothing to lose, and I don't care. When it comes to being truthful about my opinion, my thoughts, I'm a human being on the earth, and I would love to see the earth be around for another million years, because I do believe in past lives and future lives, and I'd like the earth to be here when I come back again. But today I really want to, delve deep into one concept. The division between us as human race. And right now the United States seems to be running ahead of the pack, ahead and before any other country, any other major faction outside of our country. We are miles ahead, not only in division of race, division in politics, division in religion, division in likes and dislikes. I mean, I had made a comment in one of my videos before, when it comes to, letting people make their own decisions. It's like, I think I made a comment like, well, you wouldn't go to a restaurant and, basically try to control the people sitting at your table, what they're going to order off the menu. Well, apparently, yeah, there are people that do that. Just like, seriously. But on a real serious note, the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is just on this date, April 19th, 2023. In the United States, this is the 109th day of this year. We have had 160 mass shootings as of 2 days ago. Last Saturday, we had 7 mass shootings in one day in this country. A mass shooting consists of, not counting the shooter, 4 or more people being killed or injured. 160. They don't even get on the news anymore. The weather is more interesting, apparently, more important. 160. Times that by at least 4 people killed or injured, times 160. The numbers are outrageous. We had, just the other day, Ralph Carl, 17 years old, teenager. He was going to a neighborhood to pick up his twin brothers in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and he happened to go to the wrong address. He wasn't familiar, apparently, with the street. It was the same name, but a different, one was boulevard, one was street, or one was terrace, one was street, and he went to the wrong one. It was 100 yards away. He went to the wrong door. This 86-year-old man, white man, Ralph is a black young man. His words to the police: he was just getting into bed, so he wasn't asleep, he wasn't confused, he wasn't woken up out of a deep sleep and unsure. He had just gotten into bed, wide awake. He heard a knock on his door. He grabbed his gun, because of course that's what we all do when somebody knocks on our door, is we grab a loaded firearm. He went to the door, did not have any interaction with this young man. He saw, his words, a young, black, 6-foot-tall man, and I was scared for my life. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Seriously. Thankfully, Ralph Carl, 17 years old, survived the 2 gunshots, or the 2 bullets that this crazy old man put into him. One went into his arm, the other one entered his skull. The doctor spent most of the day apparently trying to take the bullet fragments out of his brain. And this young man was, by the grace of God, is alive. What's really outrageous is the police went to this man's house that night. Now, Ralph Carl was not inside the home. He knocked on the door. How many times have your kids gone in the neighborhood? Okay, maybe you don't allow them to go house to house anymore because of the dangers, to sell Girl Scout cookies or to fundraise for the school or something like that. Do you know that your kids are not playing in the neighborhood and maybe they're going to just play? Used to be a game when I was a kid, knock on the neighbor's door and run away. Or maybe they go up to a door trying to get their friend to come out and play, and they make a mistake and go to the wrong door. Are you serious? You're going to answer the door and you just shoot through a glass door. That was locked and secured. He didn't call 911. Even after Ralph Carl was laying on the ground with 2 bullets in him, he did not call 911. A neighbor had to call 911. That's not the actions of a terrified man. I was terrified, quote unquote, for my life. No, you weren't. He picked up that gun and he saw a young black man outside that door and he wanted to shoot him. There's no other excuse for what he did. He could have shut the inside door, called 911 if he was so terrified. And the police interviewed him that night. They went away. A week later, after Mr. Carl's parents contacted the media, police asked the shooter to turn himself in, which he did yesterday, and now he is out on a $200,000 bond at home. And I'm sure they're going to come out and say race had nothing to do with it. I call bullshit. Sorry, I just do. All right, some people might say, hey, what about rural upstate New York? A white woman, 20 years old, Kaylin Gillis, along with 3 friends, were in their car driving in an unfamiliar part of upstate New York, drove into the driveway of the wrong house, were turning around to leave, and a 65-year-old man came out, didn't bother asking him anything, like, hey, you looking for something? Can I help you? That's what you do. Can I help you? How can I help you? Are you lost? What's going on? Why are you here? He just started shooting, and he shot and killed her. 20 years old. She was white. He was white too. There is a race thing going on in this country. We know that, but there's a gun thing going on in this country, which is out frickin' outrageous. And you and I all know the same thing. We cannot rely on our Congress to do anything. You know why? How many of you know why? Because the NRA hands checks out. You can actually Google it. I think Mother Jones might have it. There's at least one website that has the amount of money the NRA pays to various Congress people. It's listed. Public information. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, just last week, I believe it was the week before, quietly passed a law in his office. Nobody was there. No media was there. The NRA was there, though. And he passed a law in Florida that you can carry a gun, a concealed weapon, without a permit anywhere in Florida. Wow, I bet you their schools are feeling safe now. It's a proven thing. Somebody is breaking into your house. Statistically, they don't have a gun. Because if they had a gun, according to statistics from police departments, from FBI, various other agencies that you can look up, when somebody has a gun, if they're looking to break into some place, it is a place that they know has money, a convenience store, a bank, a various place that they know has cash, or someplace, a small business. If they're breaking into a home, there's another reason. They don't have weapons usually. Usually they will get armed once they break into the home. We've got a problem with guns in our country, and we've got a problem with race in our country, because sadly more black Americans get shot by guns for doing nothing other than being black in our country. Why am I talking about this? I'm obviously not black. I'm white. I am privileged. I get the pass on a very many times, and I know this. It's because not enough of us are talking out about it. According to my friends who are black, if a black person speaks out, gets angry, gets pissed off, and how can they not be? Because I'm enraged right now. I'm just so goddamn mad. But they can't, because there's that stereotype of an angry black man or an angry black woman. So they have to suck it up. They have to push it down. They have to try to be like, sorry, just, no. So you know what? I was thinking about this. We did one video yesterday. I was a little bit too emotional. I'm like, got to redo this, because I really want to get this point across and not, just get so upset. We need to speak out for the marginalized groups in our society. It's not enough on Facebook. It's not enough on Twitter. We need to get out there when there are marches, and we need to march with these people. The LGBTQIA plus community. If you don't identify with them, you don't have to. You can still be a human being and empathize. If you're not black, you can still march with the Black Lives Matter marches. You can empathize. There are Latinx groups that are constantly being targeted. There are Asian groups. There are Muslim groups. And don't even bring up 9/11 to me, okay? Because that is a BS excuse. It wasn't the Muslim community that did 9/11. It was a small group of terrorists. Well, you know what? We have more American homegrown terrorists in this country than we've ever had Muslim. Heard of Timothy McVeigh? I believe he was a Marine. He was military, retired, I believe. And he blew up the Oklahoma federal building. So that's a terrorist. Does that make you hate every American? Well, if you're going to hate every Muslim because of 9/11, you better be hating every American because of Timothy McVeigh. So save that BS argument for an ignorant person. It doesn't fly. 160 mass shootings. It's the 109th day. 7 last Saturday. Holy Christ almighty. And stop with the prayers. You think God's going to do something to stop this? Problem is, the reason I'm talking to you is because we can stop this. We can stop this. We can vote out those Congress people that continue to take money from the NRA. There were some people in Ron DeSantis' office when he passed that law the other day. Wasn't the media. The NRA was there. I wonder how much they donated to his upcoming campaign. People over the years have blamed video games, have blamed drugs, have blamed gangs, have blamed race, have blamed poverty. How about we look at who's really to blame? How about South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who was at an NRA rally recently, where she bragged about the way she was raised and how her 2-year-old girl, and I think it was a 4 or 5-year-old girl, she doesn't give them Barbie dolls. She gives them guns. I'm assuming they were play guns. She did not emphasize that point. But how proud she was to give her children guns. So when a 6-year-old takes a gun to school and it gets off of mommy's coffee table and shoots a teacher, why would you think there's mental illness? When a teenager takes a gun to school, why are we, all of a sudden there's a mental illness problem with our teens today? Maybe we don't have a mental illness problem with our teens. Maybe we have a lack of awareness, a lack of common sense, a lack of intelligence. Yeah, I'm calling it stupid to have guns in a house when we have children. We understand, according to doctors, psychiatrists, that the young mind is not fully developed until a certain age. You can't drive a car. You can't rent a hotel room. You can't, get a mortgage. You can't get a credit card till you're 18 or 21. Oh, yeah, but you're home, you've got 16 kids living in your house, have as many guns as you want, as long as they're registered. Well, you know what? I think we need to do something a little bit different. We need new laws. We need new laws that if you're going to have guns in your house, you don't have children. You're going to have children in your house, no guns. Because you see, if you're going to have guns in the house, people don't seem to care if they have, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Hey, because that's what's happening. Where do you think these kids are getting the guns? They're not going onto the street corner in a bad neighborhood, in a bad city, buying it from a gang member. That's what you want to believe. Because if you are pro-gun and you're pro-GOP and all this guy, this is what you're thinking, and you're wrong. They're getting it from mom and dad's somewhere in the house. That's where they're getting it. They're not buying it from a gang member. Save that crap. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. She's giving it to her girls. And you know what? She was all proud at that rally about, well, as soon as my girls are old enough to go shooting, hunting, I'm going to give them real guns. They're probably going to be 5, 6 years old. They're going to be out in the backyard shooting real guns. We teach children about fire safety. We teach them stranger danger. We teach them not to get into a car with strangers. Yet give them a frickin' real gun and load it. A child... So people that actually have guns, adults, great. And I do know some gun owners that are responsible. Gun owners in my own family that are responsible. They don't have children in the house. I think just like the police, they should not only go through the gun training program, but police have to go through mental competency, psych evals before they can even become a police officer. What's wrong with that? Give every single person that wants a gun a psych eval and review it every 5 years. Oh, the NRA is not going to like that. Yeah, how many of those guns are going to be taken off the street? And it can be done. Don't say the numbers are so great it can't be done, because every single town in every single state in this country has something called the tax man. And they go around to every single property and they reevaluate every so many years. Oh, you bet. And then your tax bill comes and it's adjusted. The mill rate is adjusted. You got to pay a little bit more usually. If they can do that with every property, if you can do the census with every human being, you can take and make sure every gun owner that's legal goes through this type of thing. Yes, and now you're going to say, well, what about all the illegal guns out there? Well, you know what? That's on you too. Because if you don't vote the congressmen out that are keep taking money from the NRA, that is just feeding into the system. Why, if there's a gun for every single man, woman, and child in this country that is alive, and there's more than that right now, and a lot of us don't have guns, that means a lot of people have more than one. A lot of them have a lot. Why are the gun manufacturers still rolling them out every single day? Where's the point of total saturation? We're done. We've had enough. Why are the gun manufacturers still making guns? Can we not pass a law that if they're going to make the guns, they only go to the military and the police force? Yes, people are going to steal them, blah, blah, blah. There's a million different excuses why. Well, give me some excuses why not. People are dying. People are terrified. These shooters were terrified. Why are they so damn scared? And why are they unable to call the police and call 911 before the first thing they do is shoot an innocent person, an innocent teenager? And why? Why is a young black man such a threat? Somebody knew. That shooter in Missouri felt that way, and somebody knew he had a gun. Somebody knew this 65-year-old in New York had a gun and felt that way, yet they said nothing. I know of one person that was that mentally ill that had a gun, I'd be calling the cops every damn day. And I know people that love their guns, but you know what? I also know people that love their children more, and we've got to stop. A witch is not just somebody who stirs a cauldron and does candle spells and looks at the moon during the full moon and all that crap you see on those TV shows. That's exactly that. It's all crap. Fantasy, and it's fun. We care about the earth. We care about one another. We care about other human beings. And if we're going to keep separating ourselves, we are now killing ourselves. We don't need anybody to invade us. We're doing it to ourselves. And it's sad. It's really sad. 160 mass shootings, 7 in one day. What a Saturday that was. So when the next vote comes up, and if you don't vote, you are part of the problem. I'm sorry. You're part of the problem. And I respect everyone's right to vote or not vote if they don't want to, but man, if you're one of the marginalized groups of humans in our country that's being treated like shit by the white establishment, of which I happen to be part of because of my skin color, and I'm screaming as loud as I can to get people to stop and think, please, please go out and register to vote. One vote will make a difference. Vote more young. White, women, men, black, Latin, Muslim, Jewish, into our Congress. Just vote more people in. There's 2 young men from Tennessee that were ousted because they actually spoke out against, not having any gun regulations after 5 children were just gunned down the week before, and then they got ousted by their state legislature because they had the nerve to speak out. What the hell? If you didn't know about that, why didn't you know about that? Why did you not know about that? This is happening in our country. We're going backwards, people. We're not going forwards. As a witch, I say what I want to do. I say what I want to, what I think. what my opinion is. I do what I want to do. I am not in anybody's box. Nobody can control my thoughts, my feelings, and I sure in hell am not going to let political whatever, etiquette stop me from saying what should be said. And there's too many people out there that think this, that say it behind closed doors at dinner with their husband or something, or their wives, but when they come out and they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be offensive. They don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You know what? I'd rather hurt every single person's feelings I know than see another child murdered. Another black teenager gunned down because of the way they look. Another young 20-year-old white girl for being killed for driving onto somebody's property looking to turn around. Have you ever turned around in somebody's driveway? Could have been you. That's all I'm going to say, because this is not really a magical, fun video, but I want you to think about it. And please, if you think you can't do anything because you feel helpless, because it's such a big, 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 overwhelming problem, and you're right, it is, you can do something. You can register to vote and go out and vote, because you are the next generation. I'm not talking to those my age and older. I'm talking to the 20-year-olds. I'm talking to those who are 30. I'm talking to those under the age of 40. You are the generation that is going to live to see an end to gun violence, if you want it to end. Because you see, I'm going to tell you something that nobody else is going to tell you. My generation doesn't want it to end. We don't. I do. Michelle does. But in general, we don't. Because if we did, we'd stop it. We came out with a vaccine for COVID in less than a year. We can do a lot of things if we wanted to. And we don't. So it's up to you guys. I really, really hope this video makes somebody register to vote. And actually, that's a right that a lot of people in other countries don't have. It's a privilege. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It's a privilege you should be proud of. Because there are people in other countries, third world countries, that walk miles to cast a vote, to come home to find their families dead. Because they wanted that so much. It's so important to them. Voting in other countries is a whole different thing. It's not like it is here. We consider it a waste of time, a bother. We have to spend a few minutes. You can make this end, but you have to want to. It only takes about 5 minutes, 10, not even. There's never anybody in the voting places. They're usually empty. So please think about it. Vote. Vote out those individuals that take money from the NRA. I never vote for any of them. You can do a quick Google search to see if there's anybody in your state. If they take money, and if they do, just vote for their opponent. It's easy. So, please stay safe. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I pray that you do not have to suffer like these families have suffered, like these individuals have suffered. Let's also remember George Floyd. Let's also remember Tyree Nichols. Let's remember Breonna Taylor. And I could sit here for the next 2 hours and just list off names, and that is tragic. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what your race, your religion is. Doesn't matter who you are. You can speak out for the people around you that maybe don't feel they can speak out, because nobody is listening to them anymore. And I'm so tired of this. I can't imagine actually living in that skin. I would be so exhausted. So let's pick up the slack for some of our brothers and sisters that are so incredibly exhausted after what they've had to go through all these years, and let's run with it. Okay? We can do that. So please, share this video. Put some hashtags underneath. Black Lives Matter. Jewish Lives Matter. Black Lives Still Matter. Peace. Whatever hashtags, will send it out to your friends, your families. People, even those that don't believe this, send it to them. Let them listen to it. We can make a difference. Send it to your congressman. Send it to somebody. Somebody has got to listen to us. Okay, before I get all emotional again, I'm going to say goodbye because it's starting again. This has been Shadow Witch. Thank you so much for being here with me, with Michelle. Peace, stay safe, and let's stop the hate and the violence. Done.